I told him, you know what I told him?
I don't.
I told him, yo, Holmes, chillax, relax. No, I told him, I said, look, and I'm not going to say his name on the radio because he's an awesome guy and he grows amazing star fruits and we sell them at the store. And you know who you are, Christopher. Oh, I said his name. Oh. Daggone. I love him. But he cannot explain to me how Kamala has went from the worst vice president in the history of the world to the best presidential campaign. All he can say to me is, Trump's going to destroy America. If Trump gets another shot, Trump's going to destroy all of it. Trump failed to give up power last time. He marched on the Capitol trying to retain power. He wouldn't have a peaceful concession.
He didn't.
I know he didn't. Oh, I know. And he actually believes, because CNN and NBC told him to believe this, he believes that the only reason Trump did not take over the world last time is because they put Mike Pence in there to guard and protect us from Trump. He said that to me. He believes that Mike Pence was put in as guardrails to protect us because they wanted to see what Trump could do, because he had a lot of great ideas, but they were scared of who he really was. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought we elected Trump and he picked his vice president. But now you're telling me that they wanted to see what he could do. I was like, do you hear what you're saying to me? He's like, well, you know what I mean. I was like, no, I don't know what you mean. So anytime something happens with Kamala now, he goes bat crap crazy. And he's like, look at this link, look at this link, look at this whole live video. Stop doing this to Kamala. It's not fair that y'all make her look stupid, right? So I very calmly typed, hey, Chris, y'all do it to Trump every time he opens his mouth. I was like, every time Trump opens his mouth, y'all cut it, chop it up, send it out as vomit to the American people. Why aren't you coming to Trump's rescue? Crickets. Then he liked one of my
doesn't like them.
Then he liked one of my meat videos. And I was like, hey, buddy, I'm still waiting on a response. I was like, you know, I love you. And you know me and your friends. And I like to say that on Facebook because I want people to know you cannot disrespect my friends. If me and Chris or me and there's another girl named Helen, or I don't quote me on her name, we don't agree on anything political. But we go to church together. They shop with us. We know their families. I don't understand why they politically think the way they think, and they don't understand why I politically think we think. But here's the cool thing. Neither one of them agree with abortion. They do agree with women's rights to health care, though. But neither one of them agree with illegal immigration. But they do agree that we are a nation built on immigrants. Neither one of them agree with guns, but they both own guns. And I'm like, y'all live a Republican, conservative, Christian lifestyle. Why do y'all vote and preach and holler liberalism? Well, Trump's going to destroy us. We can't let Trump destroy us. So you're saying Kamala's not your girl, but you're so scared of Trump. But why are you scared of Trump? Well, didn't you hear what he did? No, tell me. And they ramble on about something. I was like, do you have fact? How do you back that up? Well, NBC did a story. So? He's like, well, you just get all your information from Fox. I was like, not really, but I do watch Fox a little bit. And I was like, I try to get the whole story. I read, I write, I look at things, I look the stuff up, I check out the Daily Mail. He's like, the Daily Wire, they're a Fox baby affiliate. I was like, what? I was like, dude, see your problem? Nothing I say matters. You dispute everything I say, but you want me to take everything you say for facts. Right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Every liberal Democrat mouth spokesperson, they get mad and angry when you don't believe everything they tell you. Well, you should believe me. Why? Because I said it. Okay, but I feel this way. Well, you're wrong. Well, why am I wrong? You're wrong because you don't agree with me. But that doesn't make me wrong. That makes me different. Makes me a free thinking human being. And I hope the people listening to the show don't think this is funny and comical, because it's not. It's very real. And it's very dangerous if Kamala Harris wins the next 4 years. AOC is on record. Now, Chuck Schumer has already said this. AOC is on record that the First Amendment does not protect you against false information. She said it in an interview, in a one-on-one interview. She was doing not a YouTube, a Zoom. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you could tell she was in her house or somewhere. She was just like in a shirt and there was a wall behind her. She was doing a Zoom with somebody. And she's like, you see here, Chuck, whoever Chuck is. She's like, the problem with Americans, most Americans, and she laughed. We know the ones I'm talking about. She said, they think that the First Amendment just covers anything. She's like, and what you don't understand is when our forefathers created the First Amendment, it was for different opinions. It was if I have an opinion on topic A and you have an opinion on topic A, and we're allowed to talk about our opinions. That is what the First Amendment free speech is about. She's like, what the First Amendment is not about is when you go on public TV or the internet and you just say lies, that's not free speech. And I was like, wait, it is free speech.
It is. And there's repercussions if you tell lies. I mean, people
call you out or you get in trouble or, there are repercussions for lying.
Yeah.
But she said that the biggest thing we have to get under control is limiting and stopping false information speech that is not backed up and verified.
So we will never have any speech or anything ever on TV because, I mean, really, how are you going to verify it?
Unless it's coming from the liberals who tell you we verified it, you can trust us.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's where I'm going back to, and that's why I pulled out this executive order versus Project 2025. I'm just trying to give you examples of when they say something, we're supposed to take it as the God's honest gospel. But when we, and yes, it's us and them, just so everybody's clear. It's us and them. When we say something, they fact check it within minutes. And they're paid for fact checkers, of course, say we use the wrong terminology. Like they said, harvest balloting is bold and aggressive language. We don't like to use that kind of language. We deem this story false. Because you didn't like the language? But if you read the entire executive order, it talks about in order to make voting easier for people who can't vote, Joe Biden has allowed federal buildings and federal employees to start registering people to vote, helping them with their process, and getting them registered. So if you work for Biden or if you work for Donald Trump and Joe Blow walks up there and says, hey, man, I'm thinking about becoming a voter. I ain't never done this before. Can you help me? Yeah, sure, I can help you. He's like, well, what's the big deal about Republican or Democrat, like when I pick my party? If you work for the Republican Party, you mean to tell me you're not going to sway him to be a Republican? Or if you work for the Democratic Party, you're not going to sway him to be a Democrat? Superman ain't collecting votes. Batman ain't collecting votes.
But it'd be a whole lot cooler if he were.
I know, right? And I don't care how good and honest you want to believe you are. If you know, especially in today's society, with the temperature at the temperature it is today, if you had an opportunity to sway somebody in a nonchalant manner, like you do whatever you want, it's a free country. But man, the Democrats are kind of crazy. Or, sorry about the background. Mama's home.
It's
we're
okay.
Gonna leave Mama alone. Or if you're a Democrat and somebody comes in and they're asking you, hey, what should I do? And it's like, well, are you tired of all these mass shootings? Innocent little innuendos to sway people. Okay? But yet one lady, one representative brings it to the floor and they shut her down and try to destroy her. And she's got years and years and years of an impeachable record. But because she talks about one executive order, now they're trying to destroy her and besmirch her and call her a liar and tie her in with Trump. Which, is it bad to be tied in with Trump? It shouldn't be, right?
It depends on who you're talking to.
It's just a man.
But some people really, really hate him. And when you're tied in with them and you're talking to somebody who really, really hates him, then they start to really, really hate you.
By proxy. Again, can I read to you what I wrote, my notes?
Yes.
Okay, let me find this.
Is it hatred by proxy?
No, but yes, hatred by proxy. Once they have you blinded by hate, they begin to manipulate state-controlled or agenda-controlled media. And then you're so blinded by your hate for Donald Trump, you hate me for talking about Trump. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you can't see it because you're blinded by the hate.
And it almost seems like you should be listening to, if you're so against Trump, you should be listening to him so that you can specifically say that you heard it with your own ears, that this was the reason why, and you be your own reporter. And I'm not saying that I feel like news is completely slanted, but they do harp on things that become important and talking points. And maybe sometimes they overdo it, but then I'm defending media. I'm sorry.
Well, you have to because you have a media personality. Let's talk about California crap.
Oh, boy. If we can do it in 5 minutes.
The population of homelessness in California is out of control. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
So there's a guy who owns a farm, a vineyard up in California, and his name is Michael Ballard. All right. He has allowed his Spanish-speaking farm manager, Marcelino Martinez, his wife, and his 3 kids in Santa Clara County to live in a single wide trailer. It's a 42-foot trailer that they have on their vineyard. They used to use it as an office.
Okay.
It has bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchen. It's a full trailer.
Nice.
When they used it as an office, it was no big deal. It's on the farm. It's not near a public road. It has water, utilities, sanitation. It has everything required to live in.
Okay.
All right? No one can see it. You don't even know it's there unless you're on the property. His Spanish buddy, who'd worked for him for 23 years, could no longer afford to commute to work because housing in Santa Rosa or Santa Clara had gotten so expensive, his wife and him could no longer afford the rent. So they had to move 2 counties over in order to afford a house. But he still wanted to come to work on the farm. He'd been there 23 years. He was a great person, and he was a great worker. When the farm owner found out about what was going on, he had compassion on his farm manager. So he said, look, we don't need the office. Move your family in here to this trailer.
We need you. Oh.
We need you, and we're not going to charge you rent. Save up some money so you can get on your feet.
Nice.
Now, it's a shame because the guy's been there 23 years, and he makes good money. But because of what's going on in California, the cost of living, the cost of goods, the cost of everything, the guy can no longer support his family as a farm manager. Not as like, hey, orale, I picked the berries on the ground, and I can't barely speak English, right? I'm talking about the guy that manages the vineyard, the number one Mexican in charge, head honcho, can no longer afford to live in the county he lives in California. Now, in California, there's a code violation for residing in a travel trailer or mobile home in the county of Santa Clara.
Well, that's ridiculous.
However, there is no violation for tents, shanties, RVs, vehicles, or any other temporary structure.
Because that's camping.
For homeless people to live in.
Right.
If you talk about the homeless, you can get in trouble because it is considered like, not racism, but a prejudice. Like you're belittling somebody. You're not allowed to call them homeless anymore. You're not allowed to talk about the homeless people. All right?
They're what is that word? What do they call them now? They're lacking a home.
They're resident something.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
So in this county of California, it is illegal to live in a trailer. All right?
That's crazy.
But it's not illegal. So the farm manager, so here's what happened. So just like the EPA doing a farm inspection, they were on his farm doing an inspection. The EPA guy goes, hey, what's up with your trailer? Y'all don't use it as an office no more? He's like, no, Martinez needed it. I'm letting Martinez live there. The guy went back and snitched. County code came out, started writing them violations. $120,000 fine.
What?
He got for letting his manager live there. They're trying to shut down his farm and kick him out of their property. The trailer's on private property behind a gate, okay? They do nothing about the homelessness. They do nothing about the tents that are in cul-de-sacs in front of schools, in front of churches, blocking the roadways, the shanties that people are building out of scrap material.
Well, they can't get money out of those people.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. The media, the liberal left, the Democrats take California, is trying to charge a farmer $120,000 for allowing a farm manager to live on the property instead of being homeless. It's almost like they would rather him be homeless. How much more of this can we stand? How much more of this can we take? And then I saw this article, which I loved. Trump just proposed 200% tariff on John Deere products that are brought back into America across the Mexican border. Kudos to you, Donald Trump, and F you, John Deere. You sold us out for Mexican labor, and now you want to take cheap labor, turn it into maximum profits? Let American-making tractor dealerships sell tractors to Americans. Between the Ribs of Jonathan Morris, check me out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you find social media, or call 407-402-5686. We're out of here.
God bless the U.S.